Happy Sunday afternoon. I hope that this video is going to record. I just got a poor connection notice. So we'll just give it a minute to see if it's going to continue. So this afternoon, I finally got a quiet time in our day. We've got kids out helping with grocery shopping, kids out swimming, and so I actually have a chance to pop on just before my monthly team meeting to work on a alternative project with our Lovely Day paper pumpkin kit. So this kit I did a video on last week, I think, and then showed you some alternatives earlier this weekend. Today I'm going to show you a shaker card alternative. So I'm going to move this out of the way and grab some pieces so that we can start working on that. So I've got a card base here. This is one of the card bases from the paper pumpkin. And I have a piece here. This is also from the paper pumpkin. We've just punched out this center. And so that's going to go on top of our card front. I'm doing kind of a variation. So they showed us one sample shaker card. I'll just pull that in. So they showed us a sample shaker card. I'm going to do something similar, but just a little bit different using the pieces that we have here in our paper pumpkin and a few other items. So the next thing I've got here is a window sheet. And I'm going to cut that using my paper trimmer to just a little bit larger than our circle. So actually I'm going to grab a ruler and just double check because I don't want to get it too small. So the space that we're wanting to cover, I'm going to cut this at about 3.5. I'm guessing by 3.5 because it's a circle. Yeah, so 3.5 by 3.5 is the size that I'm going to cut this at. So let's see here, 3.5 by 3.5. And then I'll put those to the side so I can use them on another shaker card and pull that out. All right, so the first job that we have is to actually put this onto the back of our card. This is going to create like I guess like the guard so that our pieces don't fall out the front. Hi Janice. So I want to make sure that this really stays in place and I don't want to get super messy doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some Terran tape around the edges of our circle. And just like that. All right. And along there. And one more. So I really want to make sure that this is going to stay in place. So with those pieces on there, that Terran tape on there, I'm going to peel those off. And there we go. Got one. So I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. I am having a great time. We took the kids swimming last night. I've just about got everything ready for my conferences this coming up week because it's reporting time at school. And we're having a birthday dinner tonight after our team meeting for Kaylee. So kind of excited about that. It's our normal Sunday night dinner. It's not, you know. And oh no, I just stuck that down where I don't want it stuck down. Well, I was busy trying to clean a spot off of my window sheet. I just stuck it totally where I didn't want it. No, there we go. Okay, so this stuff is very sticky, but I just wanted to get this window sheet clean. I realized that there was like a little something on there. All right, let's try this again, not putting it down on top of the adhesive. So I'm just coming in with an eraser because there was something stuck on there. I can like to have a nice white eraser in my stamp room at all times. I don't ever use it for pencils. It is strictly for glue removal and cleaning things up. All right, so with that done, I'm going to come in here and glue that down. There we go. Stick it in the right spot this time. All right. So now the next thing I'm going to do before I continue here is I'm going to grab some dimensionals and I'm going to create like a space around here, like a wall around here. Now we do have oh, what do they call them? Foam adhesive strips that are like long strips of dimensionals, basically. I don't actually have any, and that's totally fine because what I do have is the outside rim of my actual dimensionals, and those work just as well. You know, they're maybe not quite as thin, but I actually don't mind that. I don't mind having that extra thickness, so I'm actually going to cut these up a little bit smaller as well because this is a circle, so putting a totally straight edge on here actually isn't going to be the best thing anyways. So I'm wanting to come in quite close, especially here at what's going to be the bottom of my shaker card. I'm wanting to come in quite close to the edge because I don't want any sequins when we start to put this together to kind of drop down below where you're not going to be able to see. Oh yeah, thanks Janice. I've done this for a long time. I've actually, when we had the circular dimensionals, I bought those because I find them useful for this kind of thing. But otherwise I just use up these edges. So I've got this little spot here that I'm really going to want to fill in so that we don't get anything kind of lost down there. So I'm going to cut that quite thin and just kind of put like a little wedge in here, just making sure that it's not going to be visible from the outside of our card. All right, so really just working hard to create an edge that nothing's going to be able to sneak out, because when we start to use our sequins in here, we don't want them kind of slipping through the cracks. All right, I'm gonna cut that off. Now, along the sides, it's not as important that you get so close because when our card sits, they're not going to be settling in up around the top. I'm still going to try and get fairly close, but I'm not as concerned about getting right into the edges. All right. What I am going to make sure is that I'm not leaving dimensional so that they're visible through our window. Okay. Here we go, just a few more. Now, even though I'm not worried about them getting, you know, out of sight, I do want to make sure that I still fully enclose this so that when this card's in the mail or, you know, just even in somebody's home, that the pieces aren't falling out the side of the card. Okay. So that one's a little long. Just trim that one up. And if you don't have the outside borders of your dimensionals, it's a little bit more work in terms of peeling off bits, but you actually can just use, you know, a string of dimensionals around the outside. So let's see, I need one more good little chunk here. And for this one, I actually want it to be slightly thinner as well because we're getting into this space near the edge of the card. Let's see if that's going to be too wide. Oh no, that actually might fit just fine. All right, now you'll notice that I have been putting my straight edge in. Oh, you know what? That is going to be too wide. So I'm just going to come in and trim this one up. So this is more like the shape that you'd find of our Stampin' strips, is more kind of like straight on both sides. So you'll notice I have been putting the straight side in, and that's because I don't want all those little bumps and grooves and stuff for things to get caught on. All right, so that's a very secure space that I have in there now. And now I am going to put that to the side and start to work. Actually, you know what? I'm not. Sorry. Because this is raised up and we're going to be putting this onto our card front, I don't want the rest of this to fall down. So I am actually going to grab some more dimensionals right now while I'm thinking of it. And I'm going to pop those in around the outside edge so that the whole front of our card stays elevated when we do finally attach this to our card front. All right. So here we go. Don't need quite that much. There. I'm going to put some there along the side. And this little piece will be perfect for the top. Excellent. Okay. And one more little chunk just to keep that supported. All right, so there are a lot of dimensionals on here. I'm okay with that because it's going to keep our card really sturdy. Okay, next up is we are going to be putting a piece of cardstock under here. Now, I don't need this whole piece when I'm doing this because when I go to put this on, it's going to be covering up most of it. It's just this little section that I am going to need visible, which means I'm going to actually use this space down here to stamp our birthday cake and cut it out of that space because it's not going to be visible anyways. So I'm going to use that. Now I am going to stamp our birthday cake in, let's see, where did it go? I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake just so that it's a little bit, like I think it would be too harsh if I were to stamp it in black. So I'm going to come on in here. And, you know, the cake that comes with the kit is actually stamped in Old Olive. That looks really nice as well. But I'm going to try and make this like a chocolate cake. So we're going to stray from that green a little bit. And I'm going to use the same color now to stamp the inside of my cake. So it's like a chocolate cake in here. So line that up, stamp that. There we go. So now I can get busy decorating the rest of our cake. So I'm going to put that stamp to the side. Put that away. All right, I'm going to grab some markers. And I've grabbed my soft settles, and I'm going to use those to color in my cake. Oh, lots of them seem to be missing. That's okay. So let's see here. We've got our seafoam green, I think. No, we're going to go with something a little bit brighter. Actually, you know what? Because so many of them are out, I've got a bunch out for our team meeting today for making cards. I'm going to actually grab my brights, and we'll use some brights instead. So I've got my Daffodil Delight here that we'll bring in and use to color our candle. And I'll move that ruler out of the way. And then let's see where our card front went. So I've got the pool party happening there. So I think for decorating this cake, we're going to go with maybe some Flirty Flamingo for our confetti. Yeah, color that in. And some Copacabana for our candle. Let's see, use this end. No, I'm going to use the thicker end. So Copacabana to color in our candle. All right, and let's see, for the little trim on our cake, don't want to go too bright. Let's see, actually, I don't think I have anything that's not going to be too bright. So I'm going to actually do a little trick here. I'm going to grab one of my acrylic blocks. I've got my Copacabana again. I'm going to color on my block with my Copacabana. And then I'm going to grab a blender pen and color in the edge of the icing with my blender pen. And that's just going to create a softer look. So I'm going to start down at this one. Okay, and just doing the edging. So most of our cake icing is going to stay white, but just do that trim with the Copacabana that's been muted by picking it up with the blender pen instead. And then to clean my blender pen, I just color until there's no color coming off of it, and we're good to go. All right. So that's just a fun tool. Having those blender pens is a great way to get kind of like a softer color. Okay, so with that done, I am going to cut this out, but I'm going to be sneaky because I don't want it to kind of like, if we can see the edge, I don't want it to be visible that I've cut something out of the center here. So I'm just going to poke through that way and then cut this out. All right, So if you find this challenging to cut out, like when I get here to this corner, it's a bit challenging. So I'm not even going to try right now until I get this away from the rest of the cardstock. Those are straight lines, so it's nice and easy. And then just, there we go. All right, so now this piece that I have here, I'm actually going to glue this down to the front of my card so that I'll be able to stamp here. Now, I just realized I probably should have stamped before I put my plastic on. That way I would have been able to line it up a little bit better. But instead, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Actually, you know what? I've got another one because I haven't put together all my cards yet. So there you go. Learn from my mistakes. I should not have put that plastic on yet until I had lined it all up and stamped. So here was the original piece, and we pop out that. And we're going to lay this down over top. So if I line that up and then lay that over top, lined up, there we go. This is where I want it, and I'm going to be taking the happy birthday from the happy birthday to you stamp set that coordinates with this kit, and I'm going to be using that. I'm actually going to ink it up with my pens, and so I used some Flirty Flamingo on my cake for the confetti, and I think I'm going to use the Flirty Flamingo again to do the words in here. And I'm going to actually do them. Well, actually, we'll wait and see how this looks. I'll do a sample stamp on the side and see if I like that in the Flirty Flamingo. Oh, no. So I think that Flirty Flamingo will stand out quite nicely. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm just using the edge of my pen, not the tip of it, to color in the happy, and just the happy, because the happy birthday is not going to fit nicely inside that circle as a straight line. All right, so let's try not to drop this on my card again. I'm going to have to use something to cover that up, maybe a piece of ribbon or something. We'll find a way to fix that. So I'm going to center my happy, and then I'm going to grab my chamois and clean this up and then re-ink it, but inking up the birthday instead to put underneath. Alright, so this is how you can use stamps, like if you love the font but it's just not, you know, the right shape or whatever, or the right location. This is a way that we can use our stamps and get a little bit more versatility out of them by coloring them in with our felt pens. Or markers, sorry. There we go. So with our birthday all done, I'm going to come in here and stamp that. Okay, and so you can see they overlapped a little bit. If you're using the Stamparatus, you could probably kind of figure out how to do that a little bit differently so that they don't overlap, but I'm okay with that overlap. And now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, there's the little kind of confetti dots in here. I'm going to grab those and also ink those up and stamp them just in the upper corners, because when we have our shaker card, a lot of our confetti is going to drop, and when it does, I don't want this to look kind of plain. So I'm going to grab Granny Smith for my first coat. I'm going to do this in a few different colors, and so let's see. Yeah, definitely first go. Don't stamp that one off. All right. So even though it's Old Olive in this card, for the confetti, I'm going to kind of brighten things up a bit and put in, there we go, some green confetti. And then I'm going to come in again, and I'm not even going to clean this because I don't mind if the two colors blend a bit. I'm going to do a little bit of Bermuda and have that actually overlap. And then this time I am going to clean it because I'm going to come in here with the pink. And actually maybe I won't. Maybe I'll use a purple. because when I put in that confetti, it's got some purple. So we've got our gorgeous grape here. I'm going to grab that. Now this one I think is going to be too dark, and I'm going to have to do a stamp off. So we'll just do a double check on here. Yeah, definitely our stamped off version only. The other one's too dark. And I'm going to move that out of the way, bring that in, and even do like that, and a little bit more. Okay, so I'm not going to do it all the way around in our circle because we are going to have confetti sitting in the bottom. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. Actually, maybe one or two more greens. It's always tough for me to decide how much to do and how much to leave. So let's come in just with a little bit more of our Copacabana. We'll do maybe one more up there and then a couple down here. And all right, so now that's going to look super festive even if our confetti is completely out of the screen, which it shouldn't be, but yeah. So now we have to do something to fix this up because I had that little oops. So I think I'm going to grab some ribbon. I'm just going to cut out the cake first, and then we'll find a ribbon that's going to look nice with that. So now when I'm cutting out the cake, I'm not going to go in and cut really close to the wick of the candle. I'm going to leave a little bit white there just to keep our candle just a little bit more sturdy. Okay, here we go. And also come back in and trim up this spot that I rushed over when I was doing the first cut. Okay, so there we have that. So our card's going to go together like that with our happy birthday over top. Our birthday cake is going to pop in right here, and then I just need a ribbon to go down here to cover up that little oops that we made. So let's see what we've got. Let's see, I wonder if bringing that one in, that'll be a bit too bright next to the green. So it's not going back on the shelf well. Come on, there we go. All right, let's see if this one will cover it up. It's not really going to mask that it's there. That's too bad. That's a nice ribbon. What else do we have? Well, this has the old olive in it, and that's actually going to be the perfect ribbon to put across there. And I might actually do 2 strips of that ribbon just to cover it up. I could cover it up with an oops sequence, but it's kind of close to the edge, so it's a little bit of a weird location. So I think I'm actually going to do a double strip of ribbon and not even do a bow or anything. Just cover up those banners entirely with ribbon. And so this is our double-sided ribbon with the old olive and Pretty Peacock combined. So those are actually the colors that are in this card anyways, so that works out really well. So to attach this, let's see, just which side do I want? Okay, I'm going to have the Pretty Peacock side showing. So I'm going to find, there it is. Going to grab my snail, and I'm just making sure to put this onto the side that I don't want showing. And because I'm not going to be tying a ribbon or anything, I'm just going straight across. Oh, I don't think any of that actually stuck. There we go. I'm just going straight across because I'm not concerned about leaving any space for tying a ribbon. And I'm going to stick that straight to the card and tuck the edges under. And then I'm going to do it a second time, quite close, so that we're just completely covering up the banners on this card. We'll still have the cute little ones at the top, but we'll cover these up at the bottom. Okay, kind of glad I dropped that ink pad now, because I would have never thought to cover up these banners with this beautiful ribbon and pair those up. So what is it? My kids have been watching Bob Ross, Happy Little Accidents. All right, there we go. So my hands are a little bit sticky now. Just rub that off. Also rub away this adhesive on my desk. There we go. All right, starting to get too many things here. Oh no, I just put that on the wrong card front. This isn't the one that we did all up for with the plastic already. So I don't even have to do it, but you know what? I actually love it so much. I think I'm going to do it anyways. So sorry, you guys are going to have to watch me cut and glue one more time. Oh, that's funny. All right, well, that one's ready to go for the next card that I make so that we don't have the little pink marks on there. Yeah, I actually really like that look. Okay, oh my goodness, I'm dropping things everywhere. All right, I just knocked something over and had a roll of washi tape fly at me. Okay, here we go. Second time of gluing these down. Let's see if I can be a little bit less messy with the snail this time. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now I've got that in the way, so this is going to be interesting because I have the dimensionals already on here. I'm actually going to peel them up and put the ribbon under them, and then put them back down, and do that on both sides. All right, there we go, and stick that back down. All right, okay, and now one more. Sorry for the repeat here in gluing. Okay, so for those of you who are popping on to watch me today, I'm not sure if you saw that I also made a few posts a little bit late in the evening last night. I've had these on my calendar for a little while, but I just kind of advertised them on Facebook using the link to my DBWS. But I've got a card class coming up on March, oh, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it's March 13th, whatever that Friday is right before spring break, like basically the beginning of spring break. I've got a card class that night, and we're going to be using all second release Celebration items because on March 3rd, they are releasing new Celebration items. I already have mine on their way. They should be arriving later this week. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Okay. So I've got that happening. And then that's also a chance for a sneak peek at a BOGO event that I'm going to be doing. I've been watching Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, and I have just been so inspired to clean out my space and just, you know, get rid of anything that doesn't spark joy or anything that I haven't used in a while, even if it does spark joy, and just kind of declutter. There's a lot of stuff going on in my room, and I need to calm my space a little bit. So I'm doing a BOGO event, and the idea there is for everything that you buy from my retired items that I'm going to be selling off, you can get the equal value in brand new product out of our catalog. So the 13th will be like a sneak peek, and anybody who wants to come to that can get first dibs. And then after that, on March 15th, the Sunday, I will be doing a full event from 1 to 3 where people can come and you know, take a look at the retired stuff that I have and get that, whatever value of retired items they purchase, they'll get an equal value in new product from our catalog. So that's what I've got going on. So I am now going to finish up this sequins card, or this shaker card. So I'm going to start to fill this up with our sequins. The sequins I'm using is the Woven Thread Sequins Assortment. And just going to pinch a little bit and throw it in here. So, oh no, it's keep it in the space. There we go. Keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. So when we shake that, it will fill up quite well, but then it will just drop all down to the bottom when we're not shaking our card. So how much or how little you put in here is really up to you. I want this to be really fun and sparkly even when our card is standing upright, so I'm hoping that that's enough that I'll have still a little bit at the bottom. Now, because of the circle and everything, I put our adhesives on the top here, which is going to make this a little bit harder for lining it up, but I think I'll be able to manage. There we go. Okay, I already got that one. Woo. Okay, so as you're peeling these, notice that you want to really hold the card down so that it's not shaking around and having sequins bouncing, because those sequins will start to stick to any exposed adhesive. There we go. A little bit in here. Oh, hi Karen. So nice to see you on live. I normally, we've been missing each other. All right. Okay, and peeling this off. So Karen, if you're just popping in now, I'm just making an alternative card with the paper pumpkin, and I'm doing a shaker card. I've got the woven thread sequins in here in our card, and I'm actually just peeling off my backings of my dimensionals, and we're about to stick this to our card. So now I realized I was not very smart when I did this, because I'm going to have a tough time lining this up now. So I think what I'm going to do is actually very carefully try to dump these without sticking too many of them to my adhesives. Dump these all right into the very center and keep them on top of my words. Oh, that did not work well. Okay, I'll be peeling these off. So this is what a messy card looks like when you haven't made a shaker in a while. It's been quite some time. I thought I'd remember all the little tips and tricks. So you guys are learning firsthand what not to do when making a shaker card. So definitely having the adhesive put down on the other side. So I should have like come in and drawn a circle or something to give myself an idea of where I'd want my adhesives, but oh well, live and learn. All right, so with those out of the way, we'll do a quick flip here. Double check that there's none stuck. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to shove these all into the middle on top of my words so they're out of my adhesive's way. Got these two that tried to fly away. Okay, so with them all out of the way, I am going to put this down. And I'm really going to push down on here so that I get a good strong hold. I do not want this coming apart on me and having sequins fly everywhere. Okay, so there we have it. Uh-oh, I got a little bunched up there. I piled them up too strongly in one spot. So we're just going to give that a tap and try and loosen those. Oh, darn it. Okay. I may have to open this up again because I had them all piled up in one spot, and that did not work out so well for me because now they're really stuck in that one spot. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if I can open this up without... I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to. Alright, so I'm going to have to tap that around and try and kind of bend this and get those loosened because I had too many piled up in one spot and now they're kind of stuck there. I'm going to finish up our card and then I'm going to see if maybe one of you brilliant people has an idea, or I'll try a few other things. So the next thing we're going to do is put our cake on here. And I've already got quite a few dimensionals on here, but I feel like the cake still just needs to be popped up a little bit. So I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals, put those on the back. All right, there we go. Peel those backings off. Oh, a pin, that's a great idea. Okay, so I'm going to put this cake low enough that I can still see my birthday. There we go. And I'm done with that sheet. So yeah, there we go. Let's see if I have a pin here. I don't know if I do at my desk. That's kind of funny. I've got a whole sewing kit in the other room. So we'll just give that another tap and see. Yeah, I'll stick one in through the edge. I wonder, I do have this. I don't know if that's going to be long enough to get through. No, oh, it went through the wrong layer. Ha! All right, let's see here. I was so careful to make sure that this was so well glued together that I'm not sure I'm going to have any luck getting through. Okay, I got through, but it's not long enough. All right. Let's see what else I have if I don't have a pin. Well, I will give that a try, and you guys will see in my final photo if that worked or not. I'm going to go check my stamp room in a minute to see if I've got something. But I am going to put a few of these sequins, the same ones that we have inside our shaker card, I'm going to put just kind of scattered around the outside. So I do like the little ones from our paper pumpkin. I find that they work really well on the backs of these sequins. They're just the right size. They're a little bit smaller than the ones that we get when we do the boxes. All right, and there we go. Okay, a few more on here. And so you could really go crazy with these or just put a few around the outside, and it's just kind of like that last little finishing touch on this card. Okay, one more. There we go. All right, so there is our shaker card almost finished. I'll go get a pin in a little bit and try and move those sequins out. I'm pretty sure that's gonna work. And yeah, and then as you can see, actually I wonder if I could even shake it loose with some of the other sequins. Maybe not. But yeah, as you can see, then we can still see our sequins at the bottom. And it's a little bit fun here with all the colors splattered around, and quite festive. So that's my shaker card with all the things not to do. Don't drop your ink on your card. Don't pile them up too high in the center or they get stuck. But yeah, so I hope you guys learned a little bit about making a shaker card, some alternatives to being able to use your trim on your dimensionals instead of using the foam strip adhesives. And yeah, just a fun little alternative with our paper pumpkin. So I love this one. And, you know, even though it was a little challenging to make, the next one will be easier. So you guys have a great Sunday afternoon. I'm off to find a pin to fix this card, and I'll post a picture of it once I've freed up those sequins. You guys have a great Sunday. Bye.